Greetings, YouTube. LMSTactical. This is the day after my surgery. So, surgery went well. I think. I mean, basically, I had a nerve in my arm that was, hang on a second. And if I've said all this before, I apologize. I'm just groggy, but feels good to get out. I basically had a nerve in my arm that was completely compressed, so I was getting these electronic, like, just shooting pains down into my fingertips, like, constantly. 24/7. All kinds of shit. So the doctor said that it was compressed between a bone and a muscle, and he cut the muscle and made room for the nerve. Look, I don't know, man. I do know this, though. I must have been talking, I talk a lot when I'm nervous. And I must have been talking up a storm, because I think just before they put me under, they reached under my tongue with a razor blade and sliced it. Because, man, there's a cut underneath my tongue, right where it connects to wherever your tongue connects. Fucking, even drinking water, it feels like I'm drinking gasoline. Anyways, enough about you. Let's talk a little bit about me. You guys want to talk politics, or you want to talk something else? I did have a guy, I can't remember, I don't remember anybody's names. Sent me a really nice, hey man, you're a cool dude kind of message. And he suggested that I tell, because of my career with the LAPD, that I tell cop stories. And, I thought about that. And it's like, man, people either hate cops or, they don't. But I think people get kind of, I don't know. There's a certain amount of people that just don't want to hear the shit. They'd rather throw cocks at us. They'd rather throw rocks at us. I guess in San Francisco they probably want to throw cocks at them. But anyways, I mentioned before that I'm halfway through a book called Blue Line Burning, and that's all it is. It's really talking about stories from LAPD before, during, and after Rodney King, kind of how it changed things. And in there, you'll see more commercials on that as it gets closer to the finishing date, but it'll be a really good book because you won't have to read it cover to cover. It'll be stories on, if you want to cry, you go to the sad chapter. If you want to laugh, you go to the funny chapter. If you want to go on high-speed pursuits, I worked in Hollywood, I worked in Watts. I can tell you all the down and dirty about the celebrities and how fucked up they are. It'll be fun. But I thought if I was going to tell a story, and you guys can click off if you're not interested. I don't blame you. But, man, it feels good to be back at it. I'll tell you the story of my very, very first arrest. Take in the beauty. Take in the beauty. I don't like low tide because he gets all dirty. But, whatever. Buddy, here, you want me to let you loose too? Buddy's small enough to where he'll get picked up by a hawk. Or an eagle or something will eat him. Good luck. Yeah, so my first arrest, I think arrest information is public record, so I don't think I'm breaking the law by releasing the name. Because I'll never forget the guy's name. As bad as my memory is, Philip Lamone was the first person I ever arrested. And here's how it happened. And this is not like an exciting story. It's just an interesting one in the aspect of it being my first arrest. Pull. God, I'm a bad shot. But anyways, okay, in those days, I don't know what LAPD is doing now. But in those days, what happened was just like the last month of your police academy, you would go on ride-alongs, and they would assign you out to go for 2 days. It was just a random pick. And I ended up in Hollenbeck Division, which was East LA, so it's the Hispanic area at the time. Sorry, I got to keep an eye on these guys. And so I got 2 days in East LA. And the first day I go out there, I can't remember the guy's name, my partner. He was a P3, he was a training officer, a little Hispanic dude. And when I say little, I mean like, short. And his partner had called in sick, so that meant that I actually got to ride in the front seat Typically, because LA runs A cars, which are two-man cars. Buddy, no. We're rolling around with dead fish. So, typically what would happen is the ride-along would ride in the back seat. And, you know, that's not cool. You know, you're all skinny and fucking 21 years old, and you're wearing your long sleeve, you know, uniform. You can't wear short sleeves until you've been on, you know, for a year. That's how it was in those days. Now they call it hazing. Crazy. You can't even wear boots or grow a mustache, nothing. Well, in those days. Now I think you could have your fucking nose pierced as a guy. Charlie, stay by Daddy. Come here. Hey, Charlie, stay over here. Fucker's rebelling because I was gone. So anyways, I'm in the front seat, and it's cool because I don't even know how to turn on the lights or nothing, man. I'd be like one of you guys jumping in the fucking front seat, you know, I'm like totally shitting bricks. So, you know, everything's going along, and then all of a sudden we get this call. Now, I'm going to give a little bit of some information in that in the 1980s, this was 1984. In those days, PCP, phencyclidine, was very, very, very common. So guys are smoking it, and what it did was, you know, in addition to making you high, it also gave you unbelievable strength. I won't go into the whole thing, bore the fuck out of you. But it was a derivative of an animal tranquilizer, if you can, like fucking bulls and shit. That water's got to be ice cold. But these guys would dip it, you know, dip their cigarettes in it, whatever, call them sherms, and they'd smoke this shit. And what would happen is, if you were lucky, you just got high. If you had a bad high, and you never knew when this was going to happen, you would go fucking completely hallucinogenic, and a couple of things would always be evident. You could tell when somebody was on PCP if the description of the call came out, or if the call came out with a description of the suspect being naked. And the reason people were always naked on PCP is because it made you hotter than fuck. I mean, you could be in a snowstorm. This right here, like that's like a regular PCP high right there. See? That's what a dude does when he's on PCP, normally. Now, if he had all his fur off, then you would know he was feeling the heat and shit. What? Fucker's getting ready to attack me. I'm hurt. Leave me alone. So, Charlie, you gotta wash off. Hang on a second. Sorry, guys. I told you this is a bad fucking video. Look, what do you want from a guy? I'm hours off of the fucking operating room bed. Give me a break. So basically, in addition to making you hot, it gave you unbelievable strength. Like, no bullshit, the strength of like 20 men. Guys could snap handcuffs. They were known for ripping shotguns out of the shotgun rack. You know, they're locked into the cars. This was common with PCP users. It also, finally, it made you impervious to pain. No bullshit. You could literally break a fucker's arm in half, and he'd just giggle at you and blow you a kiss, and then commence to fighting with you. A crazy, crazy drug. Any of you cops out there that had dealt with it, you'll know. You pipe in here in the comments and let these other guys know I'm not exaggerating. So we get a call, 415 man, Figueroa and Fuck Street. I don't remember. It's out there in the middle of fucking East LA, and this, you know, the details are Ralph. Excuse me. The details are that he's, you know, male Hispanic, nude, in the middle of the street, attacking cars. Okay. As we get, you know, it's code 2 high or whatever. As we get going, they step it up to code 3, fire department requesting assistance at this call. Okay, and then it was fire department requesting help. You know, we're thinking, holy shit, same call. So we knew that we had a guy on PCP and that they were fighting with him. I mean, just from the comments of the call. So we get there, and there's, you know, every bar on the street, every store had emptied out, and you got people on both sides of the big street. It's like a concert. And in the middle of the street is a fire truck, a couple of fire trucks, and a pile of firemen on top of this dude who's throwing him off. It's like a cartoon. Like you'll see firemen with all their gear on just go flying up in the air. And then this naked dude underneath it all. And he's flipping out. So I'm like as excited. You know, I'm 21, man. I'm fucking, you know, I barely have 2 hairs on my testicles. I'm excited as can be. and adrenaline's pumping. I have no clue what I'm doing. We get out of the fucking car. Just going code 3 with lights and sirens was awesome. So we get out of the fucking car, and you know, we wade into this shit. And I'm fucked up. My partner pulls his baton, so I do the same thing. And the firemen are like fighting with this dude, and they're getting their asses beat, man. They're like injured firemen laying all over the place from one dude. You know, he's probably like 5'9". So, and young too. So, next thing I know, there's a big commotion going on. My partner gets grabbed by this dude, and everybody jumps in. He goes down on the ground. I look down. I see 2 pairs of boots, black boots sticking up. That's my partner's. And his hands, and this naked dude on top of him. So I grabbed this fucking dude around his throat, and I pulled him off. He spun around, and I don't know how he did it, but I'm not exaggerating. Charlie, stop. The next thing I know, I'm flying through the air, and I mean, I'm talking so fucking, I was so high, and I flew so far that I had time to think these thoughts very clearly. I'm actually flying through the air, and I could see the people looking at me as I passed. And I was thinking, that dude threw me. I haven't hit the ground yet. And then I'm thinking, this is going to hurt when I hit. And the very last thing I thought was, I hope I don't rip my uniform. And then I hit. And I ripped my uniform on the knee. And the crowd went crazy with applause. They just loved seeing this fucking redheaded gringo cop go flying. And you got to admit, it must have been funnier than fuck. What's wrong with you? Are you happy to be outside? Are you happy to be outside? Yes, you are. You're a happy boy. Now you want to hug your daddy and make me all wet. You're a bad boy. Well, let's get you out in the water again. That's not a stick. Don't worry, I'll edit most of this shit out if I feel courteous. Fucking birds are laughing at me and shit. Go get it! So, I also forgot to tell you what else I was thinking. My initial thought right when I hit the ground was, oh my God, my partner's going to think I'm a pussy. I just got thrown across 2 lanes of traffic. But when I turn around, he's back on the bottom of the pile again. I can tell because I see his uniform legs kicking in like a little kid. So I go over there, man, and I'm fucking beating this dude as hard as I can. And I mean, I'm not trying to be tough or anything, but bones are breaking. He ain't stopping. Finally, I get one hand handcuffed. And then a couple of firemen grab his arm, and it's like a fucking crowbar. And they help me pull the hands together. And we get 2 sets of cuffs on this dude. And we get him, hog-tied and the whole bit. Fast forward to the hospital. We go to the hospital with the guy. And he's like coming in and out because that's PCP. He would come down to being normal. Hey, he's handcuffed, tied to the bed, that kind of shit. Hey, Holmes, what did I do? Like something bad? I hope I didn't kill nobody. And I'm like, no, man, it's, you put up a fucking hell of a fight. Look what you did to my $60 pants. Man, I'm sorry. Goddamn, man. I'm a little bit embarrassed. He was like a nice dude, seriously. And then he would like immediately succumb to his fucking PCP again. And he'd be like, I'm Jesus Christ. Literally, he said that. Charlie, come here. What are you doing? Hey, no, come here. Hey. All right, well, we had a little mishap yesterday, so I didn't get to finish the story. Anyways, that was the story. At the end, we got Philip Lamone arrested, went to the hospital. I was all jacked up, had a tear in my new pants. That was it, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the story. LMSTactical out. I don't feel like I'm alone! Who are you? Get out of my car! Ah!